Hey, welcome back to the Resort Real Estate Show, episode number 8. I am your host, Ryan Haley. Well, we just finished up with a 3-part series here, which was really kind of targeted more towards the buying side, which I went into detail with the residential contract of sale and 3 main contingencies that we would see in the residential contract of sale. Before switching onto the seller side or sticking with the buyer side, I thought I'd mix things up a little bit. And here for episode 8, I wanted to get into some Q&A. Over the course of the last 8 episodes, it's hard to believe we're at number 8 here. It's been 2 full months of the Resort Real Estate Show, and we're going strong. But after 2 full months here of the Resort Real Estate Show, we've been able to get some questions that have come up on the blog. And I wanted to go into a couple of them with you. Obviously, we don't have a ton of time today, and I'd be happy to talk to you more on the phone or via email, via text, whatever it may be, to answer as many questions for you as I possibly can. But I decided to pick a couple out here right off the blog and try to give you my opinion, my thoughts on some of these questions. So we're going to start off with number 1, which is Jimmy Burton. Jimmy Burton's a past client of mine, and his question here was, very informative. I like the show. The question being, when is the best time of year / season to put a property on the market here at the beach? Great question, Jimmy. Contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, we stay busy all 12 months throughout the year here. We don't just vanish in the winter. I mean, a lot of people think of Ocean City and the beach as summertime, but we're still here every single day, grinding it out, and every single day of every single month, properties do sell at the beach. Now, the greatest periods of time as far as people writing contracts and then settlements following up is the spring and the fall. So you have a lot of people who are preparing their properties right now, or they're preparing their mindset maybe, for a spring listing to put their property on the market for the next busiest time, which is going to be the spring. I don't always 100% agree with that philosophy. As I touched on a couple weeks ago, we talked about reasons to list during the holidays. And sometimes you can set yourself apart from the competition because there is less competition when not everybody else is listing the property. But if you want to go along with the masses and you want to get it on the market when we have probably the greatest number of buyers on the market, you want to make sure you're up and running no later than mid-January. As soon as we turn the corner into 2017, you want to make sure you've got all your painting done, you've got your decorating done. You and I have had a conversation, and we know where we're going to price the property. That all needs to be completed early January. Because I tell you what, we have some holidays in January, Martin Luther King Day, where we get people coming down. That'll be followed up with, once we get into February, Boat Show weekend, President's Day weekend, and we start to see more and more people coming to town. So don't wait. Don't think that you should wait till March, April to get it listed. If you want to get top dollar, you got to get it on the market and really be ready to go by mid-January. So hope that helps you out. We can help you any time of the year. And remember, we don't need hundreds of thousands of buyers. We need one. We need one strong buyer who wants to buy your property. All right, so that's the first one here from Jimmy. Thanks so much for giving me the question there, Jimmy. Really appreciate it. The second one comes from Scott Epter. Scott is a client that we're currently working with now to help him buy a property here. And his first question is, the pros and cons to buying in Ocean Pines versus Ocean City. Great question, Scott. And I get this one a lot. And where I'm going to go with this one is, ultimately, it truly comes down to you. What are you looking for in a beach property? That's the most important thing. It's the same between Oceanside and Bayside. You got to go with what you want first. I myself, a lot of people don't know this, I live in Ocean Pines. Ocean Pines is a great community. There's 14,000 year-round residents. There's 21,000 residents in the summertime. We got waterfront. We've got golf course. We've got interior, single-family home, condos, estates. We've got a little bit of everything in Ocean Pines. Ocean Pines can rent. You could do weekly rentals in Ocean Pines. So there's a lot of options there that you can be close to Ocean City, but not right in Ocean City. So it really depends what you first and foremost want. Ocean Pines might give you the ability to get a single family home, so you get a little bit larger property. Then you're also responsible, though, for maintaining the exterior. You got roof, windows, siding, grass. Ocean City, we're going to see more condos. You can buy a smaller piece of the beach, closer to the beach, obviously right here in Ocean City, by going the condo route. So both are great. I love both the communities. Also Berlin, West Ocean City, Bishopville, all the surrounding areas here in the Maryland side, Fenwick, Selbyville. We're all enjoying the beach lifestyle. It's definitely a coastal feel. But first and foremost, you got to figure out, what do you really want? Do you want the water? Do you want to boat out back? Do you want to play golf every day? Do you want to be able to sit in your balcony and look at that ocean? So figure that out first. Then, if you're looking for an investment, factor in the rentability versus the cost, and allow that to assist you in making the best decision. Obviously, we can get into much more of that. It's a great question. It's a loaded question, but I honestly believe you got to go with what you like best. So continuing on, Scott asked another great question here, and he asked, can you survey the different neighborhoods in Ocean City? Example, north, south, east, west. Absolutely. I'd be happy to kind of break it down, because we do break Ocean City into distinct sections of town. We have 10 miles of beach, and you've heard me say that over and over again. We've got a certain number of properties in the 10 miles of beach, and that's what we have. We're Maryland's only oceanfront town, from the Ocean City Inlet to the Delaware line right at Fenwick Island. 10 miles of beach. So if we go from south, working north, the 3, maybe 4 distinct areas you have downtown, which is the inlet till, I say, right around 33rd, 34th, 35th, 36th Street. The inlet at the south end to about 36th Street, that's really what I would consider downtown. It's also the boardwalk region. The boardwalk starts at essentially the inlet, runs up to 27th Street. That's your downtown section of Ocean City. The next area you're going to see is pretty much your 36th Street, up probably close to about 94th Street, and that's Midtown Ocean City. Midtown is in general a fairly narrow section of Ocean City. We've got the Route 90 bridge that comes in right here in Midtown, and it's probably the largest section of Ocean City, but that's going to be your Midtown area. Then as we move north from 94th Street up to the Delaware line, which is 146th Street, we refer to that as North Ocean City. Now, there is a little segment in between there which people sometimes put on their own island, their own pedestal, and that is the high-rise row section, which is 94th Street up to 118th Street, where the carousel is. So we really have about 4 sections from south to north, north to south of Ocean City that we would commonly refer to. Now, when you go not only from north to south and south to north, you also have east to west. And east to west, Ocean City is not a very wide section. We're a barrier island. So we have at certain spots right here where I'm at in 76th Street, we've got less than a quarter mile. Other spots, maybe a mile at its widest. But oceanfront, direct oceanfront properties being right on the ocean. That's a building that sits right on the ocean, looks directly out at the ocean. We have Ocean View, which is a unit that is in an oceanfront building, but on the side of the building. That would be what we would refer to as Ocean View. Then you have Ocean Block or Ocean Side. Ocean Side essentially runs from Coastal Highway up to the ocean, but not in a building directly on the ocean. So that's going to be your side street. So a lot of times with the Ocean Block or Ocean Side, you're standing on your balcony. You have to look off to your left. You have to look off to your right, depending on where you're at, to actually see the ocean. Then we cross over onto the western side of Coastal Highway. When we go across Coastal Highway, we have 2 more sections. That is Bayside Interior. That would be west of Coastal Highway, but not directly on the water. And Bayside Waterfront, which is going to be everything west of Coastal Highway, but on a canal, on a lagoon, on direct bayfront. That's going to be your Bayside Waterfront. So I find when we're looking at real estate, more times than not, we're discussing the east to west characteristics as opposed to north to south. A lot of times people say, hey, I have to be on the ocean, or I have to be bayside waterfront so I can have the boat out back. That seems to be a little bit more important, and then we get into what area of Ocean City they really want to be. So, Scott, that was another great question. I really appreciate it. Once again, I appreciate you guys coming back to the Resort Real Estate Show week in and week out. I'd love to answer some more of your questions, so feel free to fire away. When you click on here, you can leave a comment on our Facebook page. You can leave a comment on our YouTube page. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can leave a comment right here on the blog as well. So give us some feedback. Let me know any questions you have. I'd be happy to, maybe not every week, but every couple weeks, take a full episode to answer any questions that you're thinking about that's unique to the Maryland and Delaware beaches. Don't forget about the Delaware beaches. We can help you up there too. So thanks again. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you next week for episode 9. Thanks again, and have a great day.